Hi, I'm Anna Gimlen, and as she said, I have cloacal exstrophy. I'm 35. I live in Northern California now. My bio kind of gives the nitty-gritty of an outline of kind of how my life has played out for the last 35 years. When I saw the title, I kind of smiled. I'm like, okay, 20 minutes, life with exstrophy. I can do it. So I'm going to just kind of go through quickly my life with exstrophy, but I'll be around for the whole weekend. If anyone has any questions about details of different parts of my life, or especially the last part where I became a mom recently through surrogacy. So that's something that's very kind of unique and new that especially in our community, I'm starting to realize a lot of people are starting to build their families, not only through adoption, but also surrogacy as well. Both me and my mom are here to talk about our lives that have been affected with exstrophy, and how much the support that my mom has helped me find and provided me has meant for me in becoming a successful person. My mom has ran and built up the Youth Rally, which is a camp for teenagers 11 through 17 who have a whole plethora of bowel and bladder dysfunction. I was telling a family here who's going to have a first-year camper that when I went to camp so long ago, that we had a very small group of people, a couple of them are in the front row there, that we used to only have about maybe 5 or 6 people in our exstrophy girl group, and now it is just totally blown up to about 50 people. And we are the biggest group at camp now, so I always am very proud about that. And always try to point that out to the girls and guys in the room, because it's just such an impact to be around so many people like you when you have such a unique and rare birth defect like we have. So like I said, I'm going to cover my life in the next 20 minutes or so. Mostly I want you to know that I'll be around this weekend. I'm just going to go through quickly my kind of in portions, my childhood, my adolescence, and my adulthood. So I was blessed. My childhood was great. I felt free. I was involved in a lot of activities. I never felt overprotected or, that I couldn't do something. I did gymnastics and started a cheerleading squad when I was in 2nd grade, and swam on the swim team. I didn't say this in my introduction, but when I was younger, I had 2 ostomies. Now I just have 1. I have a lobster claw for me, so I have 3 toes on 1 foot. So there was a lot for me to, I guess, be ashamed of when I was little, but none of that really affected me until adolescence. So I think it was really important for the foundation of me to have all of that support from my family, but also we would go to conferences like this. This didn't exist then. It was the UOA, United Ostomy Association, conferences every summer. And so I've really been able, luckily, to grow up with people who were like me, and just like the kids will be doing today is just mostly just having fun with each other and understanding that we all go through things together, but that doesn't define who we are. My adolescence got a little bit tougher. I got sick. I had one of my urostomy taken down, and I started to cath. So I need a couple revisions because of kidney infections, but I was admitted and in the hospital almost monthly for a year or so in the crux of my high school career. So pretty much all of my friends disappeared, and luckily I had all of my friends from both those conferences in early childhood, but also the youth rally. Those were the people that I was calling when I was in the hospital and felt all alone, and they were always there for me. I even married one of them. He's in the back. So we, these friendships grow into something more. Me and Sean were only friends throughout high school, but then it flourished, and we've been together for like 20 years, so there you go. Sorry. Once I got into adulthood, I have been able to persevere and make things happen for myself. I'm not sure if it's been nature or nurture, but between becoming a stronger person as a result of surviving my exstrophy and having all the support from my friends and my family, I've become a strong advocate for myself and for others. I'm now a NICU nurse, so I'm proud to serve the population that we were all part of, and I feel that the strongest part of me being a nurse is being able to identify as the patient along with the families, and advocating to the medical team that perspective, that we're not just treating the patient, but we're taking them into consideration and treating them like a human being, even when they're so tiny. I've become an advocate for myself throughout adulthood. One of the biggest challenges for an exstrophy patient is transitioning into adult care. So that was one of the major things that I needed to advocate for myself from the beginning when I went to college, to every time you move to a new location. You have to, it was actually one of these groups in Northern California, the BEST group, that I sought out to find doctors that were willing to take on an exstrophy patient. Usually the best way that I've noticed to do that is finding a pediatric urologist who also can serve on the other side, on the adult hospital side. So having a hospital that has a children's portion that also can serve into the adult world. Living independently away at college, I actually went to UCLA down the way, lived in a sorority with gosh knows how many girls. I ended up getting my RN degree, and I'm proud to say I was able to get a NICU job during the recession. That took a lot of perseverance. And most recently becoming a mom through surrogacy. Me and my husband always knew that we would build a family, but it was actually a girlfriend of mine that I grew up with from one of these conferences that had cloacal exstrophy, that she built her family through surrogacy, that made me even consider it. So it's a very long, detailed journey. I actually spoke about it at the BEST conference. That's recorded and online if you want to see the details, or like I said, you can find me anytime this weekend. But it's quite a journey. My husband and I just had very low expectations, really didn't think it was going to work, and just took it one step at a time. And so I think that was, speaking of coping, a great way for me to feel like I wasn't going to be overwhelmed with this daunting task of building my family. Just first went to the genetics doctor to see if he and I could make a baby, and doing an egg retrieval one step at a time, then make the embryos, then find the surrogate. It was very, very slow to allow myself not to become overwhelmed. Having our daughter has truly been a miracle. I grew up knowing and thinking, never thinking I would have a daughter of my own genetically. It is amazing what love and science, what we're able to do. We've had a great experience with our surrogate and her whole family. We now have a friendship that will last a lifetime. I'm so glad that all of you are here today, because I know that it is because of the deep-rooted support that I feel in my heart and soul that gives me the confidence and strength to be able to follow and achieve my dreams. And this is only my story. All of us with Exstrophy have an amazing story to tell.
So on to the youth rally. So the Youth Rally, as Anna said, is a camp for kids ages 11 through 17. And it is the premier opportunity for young people with a range of bowel or bladder issues to learn, receive, grow, adapt, have fun, and make friends and be themselves. This is last year's group. We had nearly 200 kids. As Anna said, about 50 of them had exstrophy, some type of exstrophy. Our sole purpose is putting on the Youth Rally. We're a nonprofit. We're tax deductible, and all of our donations go straight to the Youth Rally. We've never turned a child away because of financial reasons. All of our staff pay their own way. We have no paid staff. These are the goals of the rally. Basically, our motto is living independently for tomorrow. You are not alone. And that's just like you're doing here. As Anna said too, one of the most important things is just parents meeting each other and realizing they're not alone, and your kids as young as possible realizing that they are not alone, and following that through their lives. The rally is for anyone with a bowel or bladder dysfunction. We have over 54 different diagnoses, some very, very, very rare. Some have had surgeries, some are managed by medications. Just like this conference, we couldn't do it without our sponsors, and here are some of our sponsors. We are an all-volunteer staff, and this is what we're made up of. We have approximately 22 nurses that specialize in bowel and bladder things. Our psychologist was a camper and is now a psychologist. Our child life specialist, the same thing. We have counselors in training. Once the kids graduate from the Youth Rally, they can apply to be a counselor in training. It's a very selective process, and if they make it in, they have a 2 years where they're under a senior counselor. We've been going on since 1978, so the majority of all of our people actually went through the program, just like Anna. So what I'm going to do today, Anna and I are going to do today, is we're going to go through what our last Youth Rally was, which was at the University of Colorado in Boulder. And it was our 40th year, and those are our stats right there. And not only do our kids come from all over the United States, but Canada, Mexico, South America, UK, we had one from St. Lucia last year, so it's truly an international camp, and which is really cool for the kids to experience, kids from all over the place. We come in beforehand. Do you want to talk anything about how you nurses sit down with your groups and go over the paperwork kind of thing?
Sure, why don't go through that first.
So the beginning of the week, we come in, we do orientation and set up everything for the kids to come, and the nurses sit down with their group.
Yeah, all the kids are grouped in, probably 10 or 12 kids are in each group. There'll be one nurse, one CIT, and at least one male and one female counselor, depending on how many counselors we have. So it's well-staffed, and we are able to, during our orientation, we go through a normal policy procedure, going over what all the different medical terminology is and how to work with kids, but we also have segregated time to meet with our groups. The kids and parents fill out paperwork ahead of time, letting us know how best to help their kids, even not just medically, but goals for the week, like gaining more confidence, starting to calf, understanding he's not alone. So we'll read over all those paperwork. I, as a nurse, will focus on, the nitty-gritty medical part, allergies, and if I need to help remind them to do procedures or take their medicine. But all of us work as a group as counselors to make sure we understand what each kid needs. As counselors and nurses, we're responsible and want to help all the kids, all 150 to 200 of them, but of course you need to be focused, so we all know exactly what we need to do for our group, but we keep an eye out on all the kids all the time.
So as you see, there'll be like 10 kids with 4 adults, so really good ratio. So Monday, the kids all come in, and they come in by car, by plane. The majority of them do fly, and one of the biggest questions I get from new parents is, how do we do that? My child has never flown. Some parents do bring their kids to camp. And some parents bring them maybe the first or second time, but we have a dedicated travel agent who works with us, and so she tries to get the kids, all of them are on nonstops, but tries to get them on flights. If several kids are coming from the same area, we can, introduce them beforehand. We have special permission from TSA, so we go all the way up to the gate. The parent sends in a picture of their child. We send them back a picture of what our t-shirt looks like. So we are at the gate, we can identify the camper, and they can identify us, and then we take them down, take them to the bathroom right away, and then get their luggage, tell them to call their mom, and go into camp. And then it's the same thing going back. A counselor walks them up, make sure that plane takes off, does not leave the gate until the child is on that plane and that plane is gone. So always the first night we have, just icebreaker fun stuff, kind of like the pizza party last night. So there's always a theme. Last year it was a casino night and a barbecue, so they had a lot of games. Hasbro donates thousands of dollars worth of games to us, so those are prizes that we give out. And then the next day we go into the nitty-gritty. Tuesday is our medical education day. And it starts out with a big group, medical education, that tries to be kind of inclusive, may talk about becoming your own advocate, just kind of a general overview, not really diagnosis specific. Then the kids break down by their medical diagnosis that are led by a nurse, and also by counselors that have the same medical diagnosis. And then they break out again by how they're managed. If they cath, if they're still incontinent, if they have a urostomy, if they have a colostomy, if they're on a bowel program. So they may be a child that they've been talking about getting a Mitrofanoff, but they don't have one yet. Well, they can go to the incontinence group, or they could go to the Mitrofanoff group. That's all the medical management that day. They have free time on the campus. We utilize everything that the campus has to offer, pools and rec rooms, and then that evening we had an ice cream social. Here's one of the medical education sessions. And just a little of what I had said.
And those groups are mostly led by the counselors, the nurses. Rarely are the nurses like me who have also a diagnosis, so usually the nurses are just there to validate information and make sure that the information going out is safe and accurate. But it's really supposed to be like a peer discussion about helping each other, not a lecture from a medical person.
Yep. Yeah. These are just some of our diagnoses that we see. Here's some of the free time. Pizza, just like last night. These kids will have pizza for dinner, and then they'll order pizza to come to their rooms. A lot of pizza. And a lot of the kids with bowel issues, by the middle of the week, they realize they just can't. I mean, they're going crazy.
Living independently.
They're learning by trial and error. We always hold the camp on a college campus, but we move it around because our kids come from everywhere, and plus we show them, we use different kind of campuses. Some are urban, some are more like in the city, some are more rural. The dorm rooms are different. In some of them, it's the traditional dorm room, 2 people in a dorm, bathroom down the hall. Some are suites where there's a few bedrooms, a little living room and kitchen, a couple bathrooms. And Seattle, which we're going to be in this year, which is our dream one, 2 in a room with a bathroom in every room. So that's really good. They eat in the dining hall. They're educational sessions are in lecture halls. So basically what we're showing them, trying to show them, is that no matter what, they could go away to a college and, you know, live in a dorm.
Just
Yeah.
We, every year we'll have a motivational speaker. The last few years we've, as my mom says, homegrown them. So some of our campers that became counselors who've studied abroad will share those experiences, because not only living away at college, but also utilizing those travel abroad programs in college, and talking about how they managed that. One of our gals went to Japan and talked about how she organized getting supply. She has Exstrophy, and she organized getting basically care packages sent to her for her supplies by her family. This was a new counselor to us. She became a CIT. She has 2 ostomies as a result of cancer as a child, and she's a model, as you can tell from that fierce picture.
Oh, yeah.
So just showing the kids different ways of, you know, persevering,
Yeah.
having fun.
And there's the ice cream social. Wednesday is our fitness day and also self-esteem sessions. Once again, with self-esteem, we'll have a big session that is kind of general, dealing with self-esteem, and then they break down by age and sex. So 11-year-old girls will all be together, 17-year-old boys will all be together. So they're specifically talking about, you know, age-appropriate things. The 11-year-olds might be talking about going into middle school, and now they have to dress in gym, and they're going to have 7 teachers, and how does that all work? And so as it goes up, you know, the 17-year-olds are talking about moving on to college. Of course, there's relationships. So it's all age appropriate that they have those. We'll have some late night groups also for the older kids. We have one specifically for the Exstrophy boys and the Exstrophy girls, the older ones, dealing with their unique issues with sexuality. And then we also have, on another night, we have just the older girls and older guys that also talk about sexuality, which the Exstrophy kids go to too, but they have their own time because they have some additional things that, you know, to discuss. Fitness Day. Fitness Day is something we added probably now quite a while ago. But what we noticed is, you know, we're having the kids, they're eating in the dorms, they're going to these classes, they're doing all this stuff. But what we noticed, especially with kids who have mobility issues like use wheelchairs, as we'd see them come back year to year, they were getting more and more physically out of shape. And so we added Fitness Day, and we work with the fitness center at each college, and it's a morning, and we offer 2 classes. They could choose 2 different classes, and we work with their staff as far as making them accessible for all the kids. So just to show them that no matter what, there's something they could do to physically take care of their body also. The climbing wall is one of the favorites, and there's nothing more emotional than seeing, you know, a kid who usually is confined to a wheelchair go up that wall. Say anything about talent and fashion? No?
We have a talent and fashion show. It's the best day of the week.
And it kind of started out as a fashion show to wear show flattering things, you know.
Like things you can wear with an ostomy kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's turned into much more than that, as you can see. And we let the kids know ahead of time about both of them, and, you know, we have some very talented kids. Field trip day. We go on a field trip, again, just like your kids are going to go today. And depending on the location that we're in, next year we'll be in San Diego. We go to the beach, and we stay and do a big bonfire and s'mores and all that. Last year in Boulder, we went to a water park and amusement park. And it's just a day, you know, now it's getting towards the end of the week, and they're starting to form their little groups and feel comfortable with each other. And so just a day to just hang out and have fun.
Of course, a lot of these kids don't feel confident to show their bags or their scars in their everyday life. So camp is a place where they are like, you know what, everyone else here is just like me. I'm going to do it today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really nice to see all the kids kind of blossom over the week.
So already it's the last day of the week, and we had let's see, is Chelsea there? We had another motivational speaker, Chelsea, who had severe Crohn's, also because of fighting that and the pain issue. She ended up with an addiction problem, and some of our kids are facing that too. So she then became a bodybuilder, a weightlifter, and is very successful. And
Talked about her channeling or changing her coping mechanism from a negative way to using her body and finding power inside of herself with her body, even though it's to her betrayed her so many times.
And we have all the kids write an evaluation of the camp as well as the counselors. That's the way we decide what we're going to do the next year. We take that to heart. All the kids write thank you letters, and like I said, the majority of our kids come on at least a partial, if not a full scholarship. So we have them all write letters and send them to all of the people that had sponsored them. That's your deal.
The beauty shop is, they set a beauty shop up before the dance. It started out when I was a camper, one of our counselors was a Mary Kay person, so she would do her little facials for the girls. And then the guys would kind of start coming in, and it's just totally taken on a whole new, sorry, I can't find my words these days, a whole new ball game. So we now have dresses that were donated. One of our gals who's a nurse, who's actually going to be one of the medical directors this year, loves to do nails, so she's in there doing people's nails. Had a whole hair station. This gal here, Diamond, she is a camper, so it's awesome to see the campers helping other campers. It's not just the counselors. Everyone's really just getting ready for the dance together. It's really sweet.
So the dance is the big finale. And as I said, the kids can come from the time they're 11 till they're 17. And we hope to find them when they're 11, so they have, they can come every year. And I would say the majority do. Once they come every year. So the dance is the big finale, and we also have a formal graduation for those that are 17 to put some closure on it for those that will be leaving us. Again, it always has a theme, and we were in Colorado, so there was the theme. A little bit more of the dance. I'll kind of just go quick through this, but we get a lot of feedback and from parents, from kids. It's how we know what we're doing right, what we need to change. So we pay a lot of attention to that. And one of the fun things for us as staff to do afterwards is sit down after the kids all leave and start reading the thank you letters, and you're going, oh man, I'm exhausted, but this is really worth it. So
it's really nice now, Facebook and Snapchat and all these social networking things. As soon as, they're communicating during the week on those things as well, but especially as soon as they leave, they're instantly in contact with each other. It's they're supporting each other until they see each other when they get off the plane the next year. So I think Facebook has been really awesome for the campers for that.
Yeah, I think so there's, they've got all that going on now, Facebook group and all of that. When Anna was a camper, and like she said, when she had a lot of hospitalizations, and we were from California, her surgeries were done in Seattle, she was getting calls and cards from her camper friends, and had one that lived there who actually came and did homework with her with her tutors. But now, I mean, it's instant.
Spanish together.
Yeah. Now it's instant. You know, they're in touch all the time. So this year we're going to be in Seattle very, very soon. And these are different ways that people can help. Yeah. There's our website. We'll have a table out there too with brochures and information. Each kid gets a yearbook. We do a yearbook every year. I'll have some examples of those. Any questions that you have. And so on the behalf of all of us, thank you very much, and we hope we see some of your kids, if not this year, then in the near future.